Hello.
Ani, I'm trying a new setting that allows me to ensure that nobody can put their video or audio on. अब ये होगा कैसे मेरे को मालूम नहीं है. How do I ask you to unmute? Unmute हो रहा है देख. Okay. Okay. ठीक है अभी कर दिया मैंने. You should be able to unmute yourself and put on.
Thank you. I love talking. Yes, I can talk now. I couldn't talk earlier. Hello.
And you're
Hello,
live
hello,
on the
hello.
internet.
That's okay. I can't see myself on the YouTube thing though.
You can. Why?
Okay, I think there's a delay, no? Zoom pay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, YouTube will
10
come.
उसका डिले होता है 10-20 सेकंड्स का ऐसा कुछ होता है.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Saurabh, I can. Oh, I can see myself on YouTube. So cool. Ah, I love
और
this.
तो जूम में
Dude,
फीचर
I
होता है
love
ब्रो.
this.
जूम में फीचर होता है. जूम सीधा यूट्यूब पे डाल
Wow.
देता है.
Wow. You should just do this every
But
morning
Zoom
when
is
you struggle
expensive.
with YouTube.
Zoom is
Oh, it's
expensive.
on the
Zoom is
paid plan.
$2,000. So you
Okay,
can't do
cool.
it.
Sorry. My mother is also live now.
That's okay.
Um,
The entire internet knows that mom is live.
Dude, I know, I wrote a LinkedIn post that I thought it would do great, but it did not. So that's my story of the evening.
डिलीट करके दोबारा लिख दे क्या फर्क पड़ता है.
मतलब ठीक अगला लिख लूंगी क्यों डिलीट करो इट्स ओके
हाँ ठीक है. That's okay. सही है. We'll wait for Mannat to come. गला
Hello
गर्म
everyone.
करते हैं. Hi Anshu. Hi. They put a new AC, but it's not cooling again. I don't know what's wrong. It's like 80 तक AC है. उन्होंने अभी खोला है. तब भी इतना नहीं कर रहा है.
maybe give it I don't know yeah it's probably just rent a mojo.
No man, it's a new AC. They opened the dabba in front of
Oh,
me.
new AC. Wow. Okay. Hi, Himanshu.
अच्छा
Himanshu's last message to me was don't do scams. So I don't know what impression I've left on Himanshu last I met him.
so yours first one was the same.
Okay. Saurabh, are we your backup podcast hosts?
No, I am. If Mannat doesn't show up by 8 or 5, I will quit this and I will go back to doing something else.
Okay, cool.
I'll probably sleep because I haven't slept well last 2 days.
True. Now
So
there's a new AC.
plus one.
So क्या तुम्हारे पास भी AC नहीं है हिमांशु?
ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ 2 दिन से.
Oh.
कहाँ घूम रहा है तू?
दिल्ली नाउ उत्तराखंड.
Oh,
I've never been to either Uttarakhand or Uttar Pradesh. UP I have, I think. Yeah.
If you have been to
Anyway.
Noida, then you have
हाँ,
been to
correct. So I have been to UP. I've just
yeah.
not been to Uttarakhand. मेरे लिए सब दिल्ली है, but ठीक है.
Okay.
From where I sit, it is all the same.
चलो. Mannat has entered the waiting room.
Okay.
चलो बाकी लोग अपने कैमरा बंद कर लो. It's Mannat and me talking to each other. Hi Mannat.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Mannat, you're live on YouTube as well. In case you want to stop the
Oh
YouTube, we
my
can stop
God.
the YouTube. We can
Okay.
stop that. I mean, I can stop that also if you want.
I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
Cool.
Chalo. Chalo, Mannat, we can get started. You and me will talk. There is Chandni, Himanshu, and Pradeep who will listen in. And if they have questions, they will type on the this one also. क्या बोलते हैं? Window. But yeah, over to you, man. Ask me questions. Your show.
Right. So I don't have any like questions prepared or anything, but yeah, basically I just thought that you'd be like a good person to, talk to because you've done something in MBA, then you've done something in design. Because I mean, I started freelancing, and then somewhere down the line when clients dropped, my parents were like, "तुम क्या कर रही हो design में? कोई फायदा नहीं है, कुछ पैसा नहीं बनेगा." And I was like, I am in a small city and I was in a bubble away from creative people. I got convinced कि ठीक है, you know what, sure, let's do an MBA. But still, like, man nahi manta, like, to leave creative altogether. So I'm still trying to figure out what that perfect space would be for me and how I can kind of start from now, because abhi I don't have anything else as such to do, like, a lot.
Got
So
this.
yeah.
Got this. Manat, quick background. I forgot what city you're in. Chandigarh, you said, no? Ludhiana. No, one of those cities.
I'm in Patiala right now. So I
Patiala.
was working in Gurgaon for some time.
Got
My
this.
college was everywhere actually, thanks to COVID. But yeah, I'm from NIFT Hyderabad initially.
Got this. No, Himanshu is in Chandigarh. I don't know how close or far
Oh,
Chandigarh and Patiala are, but should you happen to be in the same city, you'd love to have the two of you catch up over a coffee. Himanshu is a second year student at MDI Gurgaon doing his MBA, and he can give you some context from there on. Second, Manat, which college are you going to and when are you joining that college?
okay. So I'm not doing it here in India. I'm doing it in Ireland. तो
Okay,
वहाँ पे it's a MSc in management,
got
and
this.
it's a 1 year course. So वहाँ पे all the
And
masters are 1 year.
got this.
3 years
And when do
Ireland.
you go there?
I go there in August.
Oh, very cool. That's like few days ago, but a few days from now, like a couple of months from
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So
Nice,
abhi,
nice.
like, for the most part, I'm like getting in touch with maths and like just the fact कि पढ़ना पड़ेगा because I don't think I've given exams since class 12. So
Is it the first time you'll study in a different country?
no, I have studied, but then it was again design only. Like I had gone for a study abroad.
Acha, amazing. Chalo, let's get started. I'll try to give you my thoughts. But before I do that, I have a few disclaimers to make. First
Yeah.
and foremost is that मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है ज़्यादा. I can only, in the hindsight, the vision is 2020, 10, 10 सब अच्छा लगता है. I do not know what the future will hold of. I am not a futurist. I'm not a, what do you call it? I'm not somebody who can look at a glass bowl and predict future क्या होने वाला है. I can only guess where things are. So my guess is as good as yours, and you probably would have a better version than me because you are still young. You are still trying to understand from people. I am very old and I'm trying to survive and not die. So that's where I am at. So that's my first disclaimer. Second disclaimer is this conversation is more about me thinking for myself कि मेरे को आगे क्या करना है, and I'll give you context for you and for the audience, whoever's listening. I don't know who's listening apart from my people. Today we run a creative agency and we run a fairly okay agency. When I say okay agency, we do good work, we charge okay money, and we are able to we've been able to survive for a long time now. मतलब कोविड से मैंने ये कंपनी शुरू की थी 2013 या 14 में शुरू करी थी, एंड अभी तक कंपनी मरी नहीं है. आई हैव हैड अप्स एंड डाउन्स एंड डिप्स एंड highs, but I've not died. I've not, in Brian Johnson's language, I've not died. I've survived. So I know how to survive various shocks. Let's say the shock of COVID, the shock of, AI. So I can talk from that lens. Now, to answer the question, there are two ways. I will abstract the question into two ways. So A, what would happen to the creative businesses in about a couple of years after you pass out from your MBA? When I say couple of years, I know it's a 1 year course, but assuming 3-4 महीना ऊपर नीचे करते करते आपको 1.5 साल 2 साल लग जाएगा आपको पास होते होते. So that is one part that I'll answer. Where do I see creative businesses going in 2 years? And second, how do you marry stuff like management and creativity? Is that okay? Are these two questions
Yeah.
that I can take?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
Super.
yes.
Okay. So let me try to crystallize कि creative business 2 साल के बाद क्या होगा. तो मेरे को लगता है कि 2 साल के बाद the world will be split into two different places. Oh wow, this should be a good one. If I can record, if in 2 years we revisit this and if the world is actually split, it will be a great place to be at. So the world would have split into two distinct things in the next 2 to 3 years. These would be as follows. One would be all things that we today think of creative would have become standardized. So, for example, today you think of creativity in terms of, let's say, food. You get to make very different kinds of foods and different kinds of experiences and tastes. So, food is one, for example. Clothes is one example. Communication is one example. Products that you use is an example. Like, for example, laptops and phones and all of that. So, every place where you can express your creativity would get split into two very wide buckets. Bucket one would be mass market, mass produced. So, for example, today each category that we work in, operate in, seems to have arrived at a category code. So, for example, every mobile phone today has a bulging out island behind on the back. So every phone looks like that. And with time, even new phones will start looking like that. And even though you may come with foldable phones, tri-fold phones, whatever fold phones, you will always have that sameness in that fold. Look at fashion. You cannot differentiate a Zara from a Shein, from a H&M, from a even a Yusta, and what is that other brand, Zudio, for example. You will start to see a lot of laptops look the same. You will start to see a lot of food look the same. Like, for example, there was a time 15 years ago when I would travel, and every time I would go to, let's say, Hyderabad, I would be dying to eat authentic Hyderabadi biryani and Mysore Pak, even though I do not know where it comes from. But today, that same Hyderabadi biryani is available in Bombay, Delhi, even Ireland for that matter, and dishes from Ireland and Bombay, Delhi are also there. So there is no distinctness left in the food even today, and in 2 years it will become even more standardized. So we will have McDonald's kind of a situation happening, where everything that you think today is creative would have become standardized. Now, you as a creative professional would have an option of either saying that, I'll be part of this supply chain and I will own one part of the supply chain and do great things there. Or you would say that I will revolt against it and I'll do something else. So that's part one of it, right? The part two of it would be that a lot of these indie, what we call today indie, homegrown, small businesses will come up. So, for example, I spoke about food. Food will probably have multiple supper clubs. And I'll not be surprised that supper clubs today are a big rage. But in 2 years, all the supper clubs will start looking the same. They would do the same recipes and same food and same photos. What's a supper club? Okay, supper club is supper club essentially when they started in the US or wherever they started was like a home chef who would say कि मैं नौकरी करता हूँ बट नौकरी के अलावा मैं घर पे बहुत बढ़िया बिरयानी बनाता हूँ 10 लोगों को बुलाऊंगा और उनको मैं उनसे हजार रुपए लूंगा और उनको मैं बिरयानी ऑथेंटिक बिरयानी एक्सपीरियंस दूंगा. So that is called a supper club, and it's a rage in Bangalore and in Dubai and all these fancy countries. Now, the difference that has happened is that from original cooks and chefs who would present their dishes well, now it has been taken over by these social media butterflies who will organize a supper club to meet good, create cool people. So that's what has happened to supper clubs. But supper clubs have started to become similar as well. But हुआ क्या है? एक तरफ McDonald's है और एक तरफ supper club है. There is nothing in the middle. So that middle path will cease to exist in 2 years. And as a creative entrepreneur or creative individual, you have a choice to work with a Shane or a Vera Muda or one of those people, or you pick your own supper club wherein you become a supper club curator, provider, etc. etc. Let's say that's the सॉरी फूड की बात कर रहे थे. मैकडॉनल्ड्स बन जाओगे या सपर क्लब बन जाओगे. कपड़ों में आप शेन बन जाओगे या फिर आपका खुद का एक लेबल होगा जिसकी छोटी सी दुकान होगी कहीं पे किसी कोने में गोवा में या कहीं पे कोई दुकान होगी आपकी. एंड इन एवरी क्रिएटिव परस्यूट फ्रॉम architecture to painting to writing, like all the writing would be commoditized. My sense is that in the next 2 years, all LinkedIn writing will start looking the same because same content is being generated by LLM and the LLM is getting trained on the same content and it is recharging it. So, that will happen. In fact, there was a study that somebody did. I don't remember it and Pradeep can pull that out. They did a study on anthropology. They said that in 200 generations from here, 200, 2000 generations, like some crazy number of generations, the world will be divided into two kinds of people. One would be fairer, taller, healthier, stronger, and other will be darker, shorter, uglier, and poutier. What they said was that today, if you were to choose a mate for yourself, or in all likelihood, you will want to find a mate who's a fairer person, healthier person, and stronger person. In that theory of natural selection, you'll pick a person that you think looks attractive. And by society, in the world that we live in, society says fairer is better, athletic is better, younger is better. And the ones who are not fairer will be left to find mates with, let's say, not so fairer men, women, etc. etc. So and now this iterate this for 200 generations. So all the fairer people come on one side, all the darker people go on one side. All the fairer people are taller, all the darker people are shorter. So the world will divide itself into these two distinct. You let me use the word races and not stratas. Similarly. Similarly, what will happen is in the creative pursuits, the same thing would happen. You would have on one side, you would have McDonald's and you would have supper clubs. You would have H&M and you would have a fashion label, like a tiny label. In fact, all the brands today are also being bought over by these large conglomerates, large behemoths, right? All the writing will become boring, soulless, listless, and there'll be some people who will continue to be poets. All the films will have the same formula, wherein the formula would say that एक हीरो होगा, वो गरीब होगा, फिर वो अमीर लड़की से शादी करेगा, and so on and so forth. And there'll be some films that will say कि I don't want to do a commercial version of cinema, I'll do something else from there on. So in and this is inevitable feature. In the words of a friend of mine, Krishna, this is inevitable. वो होगा ही, आज या कल या
I think
परसों
it's
होगा.
already happening also to quite an
Absolutely,
extent.
absolutely. But we don't get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you and I don't get to see it because we are still on the edge. We are still creative people. Like look at the background behind you. You have some 10 paintings. I don't know what those paintings are. Look at background behind me. I have like 3 paintings. But look at all those people that put virtual backgrounds. Although they are unable to see that they want to put a different background, so they're inspired by that virtual background. Everybody wants to put some sort of a long shot, some sort of a window, some sort of a plant. There is no personality there. And most people's personality is dictated by people they love. Like, for example, I have young colleagues who are I'll give an example. Chandni was with me when that happened. So I had gone to Bangkok, and I was at the arrival area of the Bangkok at the Bangkok airport, and there was some rock star, K-pop group was coming out. उनको receive करने के लिए there were 200 kids who were dressed exactly the same, man. Short skirts, tight t-shirts, and black or whatever. And you could look at from behind and say, अरे तो सब same ही दिख रहा है, शक्ल different होगी, but they were wearing exactly the same kind of clothes, man. It was a shocking moment. I wish I could take picture. Chandni may have taken the picture also. I don't remember, but that picture is so telling that every young person wants to dress like each other, and there is no distinctness about it. मतलब मैंने तो फिर भी कुछ पहना हुआ है, ये भी Thailand से. Funnily, this thing I'm wearing is from Bangkok. Funny story. But the broad thought here is that it's happening, but we don't get to see it, Mannat. And with time, we will start seeing it, and more people will start noticing it. Today, we don't notice it. Like your parents, if they're not from a creative background business, they will probably not notice. But a time will come when they'll start noticing it.
But then, I mean, I get what you mean, but then I think I have seen the opposite end of it. So, like for me personally, I was in US for some time when I was studying abroad. And वहाँ पे जाके is when I really started like doing this individualized personality wala thing, because I realized everything was so bland and boring. कि even like for example, when I went to H&M, जो Times Square पे like the उनका flagship store, they had 4 colors: beige, black, gray and white. कोई चौथा कलर, उनको भी हम कलर्स नहीं मानते हैं. And that is when I got into that this is not something that I can do. It feels suffocating, and maybe it's my algorithm that shows me what I like. But I have started seeing that minimalism से हौली हौली it's going towards more maximalist and more ऐसा colorful and all of that as well.
मेरा आंसर ये है कि हम लोग ना एक छोटे से बबल में रहते हैं. And वो बबल क्या है? आपका जो बबल है वो आप look at you. Who are the 5 people that you talk to every day? My sense is उन 5 में से 4 लोग artist kind होंगे. Pardon my stereotyping, but वो artist या creative type होंगे. I don't think they will be like, okay, look at this call. Who all do you have in a call? We have Pradeep, who's a technical writer for an engineering company. अब वो engineering company boring है कि नहीं है मेरे को मालूम नहीं है, but I don't understand what that company does. But it's a technical writing job which requires a lot of deep technical knowledge to write. That's Pradeep. Chandni is a journalism student who now is building something in menopause. Himanshu is an MBA student who's trying to do some UGC content. So even though we are creative people, but we come from different backgrounds. So मेरा जो sample set है वो probably थोड़ा wide है आपके sample set से. तो मेरे को दिखता है कि Pradeep boring कपड़े पहनता है. Sorry Pradeep, but I know Pradeep wears he will wear a typical boring chappal that most South Indians wear. Sorry Pradeep. He wears jeans. I've never seen him shorts. I don't think I'll ever see Pradeep in shorts. And he wears shirts. He doesn't wear t-shirts. And maybe he does, but I've only seen him in shirts. Himanshu, on the other hand, wears typical small town boy clothes. मतलब उसके पास वही 3 मतलब वो कॉर्डर नहीं, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, पोलो नेक शर्ट, टी शर्ट्स है उसके पास, उस पे प्लेन टी शर्ट है, पे लोगो लगा हुआ है, एंड ही इज वेयरिंग पैंट्स दैट आर लिटिल लूज, यू नो. तो द पॉइंट इज I am exposed to different tastes and different backgrounds, so I get to see that world is far different from what our cocoons are. On the other hand, this rock star that I was talking about, this K-pop people, all of them dress the same, talk the same, etc., because they hang out there. Manat, aapke case mein, if you hang out with a lot of creative people, they probably would talk of the same 5 things and talk of the same 5. I'm writing a book and a film. उसमें कैरेक्टर है, दैट कैरेक्टर इज इंस्पायर्ड बाय all the in things are what smash the patriarchy, save trees, save the tiger. No, I'm trying to write a character, so point is she's inspired by what she sees around her, and all her life is made by those people. So आपकी लाइफ में भी ना, मतलब वो 5 चीजें हैं जो आपने जो जिनसे आप बात करते हो. सो इफ यू गो बियॉन्ड दैट यू बी सरप्राइज. लाइक आई गिव यू थॉट एक्सपेरिमेंट. एक काम करो, इनकॉग्निटो में जाओ अपने ब्राउजर में, and log in. Don't even log in. Just go to one of these news websites, Google News, and change the location to, I don't know, Bombay. See the kind of news that you get, and then do that same thing for a different location, and see you will see so much difference that you will not even realize कि यार इतना difference था market में. You will be like यार ये कहाँ पे था ये सब, मतलब where was this happening? So that is what I think is a good thought experiment to have, to be able to get out of this tunnel vision that most of us put ourselves into. Like I'll give an example. आज मैं किसी WhatsApp ग्रुप पे लोग बात कर रहे थे कि गवर्नमेंट, एक्चुअली छोड़ो, गवर्नमेंट की बात नहीं करेंगे, इट्स एजुकेशनल पॉडकास्ट. कमिंग बैक, सो मेरा सेंस ये है कि आप जो बोल रहे हो कि देयर इज अ रिवोल्ट अगेंस्ट the sea of sameness. My sense is the revolt is happening only in a certain set of people, and I do not know if that will go in mainstream, because revolt requires you to let go of your comforts. आपको H&M में नौकरी करने के बहुत सारे पैसे मिलेंगे, और अपना लेबल खोलने का मतलब, unless your parents are rich, you will probably not be able to do your own studio. So you have an option of either going to H&M or struggling for it. How many people have the guts to struggle for their studio, for their art? They will someday come back and say कि हाँ चल कर लेते हैं. So that.
Yeah.
So my sense is, in 2 years, coming back to the question, the creative world will be split into two large buckets. Bucket 1 would be same products, even though they could come from different brands, and bucket 2 would be a lot of tiny niche things. What are those niche things? I do not know. Will they make money? I do not know. Will they have place in the world? Absolutely. Probably one way to go about doing that could be to one way do it could be to sell to people who have the money to buy those things. Like, for example, if you can become somebody who sells to only uber rich or the Silicon Valley folks, maybe you will have an opportunity to make your ends meet. Like today, there's an article trending on Twitter wherein they're saying that escorts in the US would charge $100 a night, and today, thanks to the money that Silicon Valley folks have made, these escorts are charging $30K USD a night for being a companion. Not even sex work, but companionship. All of it because they cater to a certain audience, and there is enough market for it in terms of both buyers and sellers. So maybe you become that person wherein your art is used by those people. Like look at MF Hussain, for example, or Raja Ravi Ram, for example, Raja Ravi Verma, क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं. So all these folks are going to have some audience and some conversations available for sure. आपको ये देखना है कैसे क्या करना है. So that's my thought, and yeah, मतलब अपने को देखना है कि हम कहाँ जाकर हम कहाँ जाके ढूंढते हैं अपना.
Which out of the two do we want to go into? That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. Long answer, but I'm glad, because it's making me think as well that where do I want to go? Do I want to cater to rich? Do I want to become yet another business that does similar things, etc., etc.? So what is वो अपने ऊपर है. Let's see what we end up doing. So yeah, that. Follow-up question?
No, I mean, I think that makes sense. Like it will be divided into two. And I feel like the second one will be like the very rebellious one कि जो सब कर रहे हैं बस उससे उलट ही करना है, which is I think closer to what a lot of us creatives are doing. So yeah.
That's how revolutions start. No, look at politics. That Cockroach Janata Party started like that.
Yeah.
Prior to that, Aam Aadmi Party started like that. So most of these tiny things will become movements. Which one gets to change the regime is a question that is worth asking. मतलब आप रेबेलियन करोगे, आप अपने पैसे कमा लोगे, but will you be able to bring about a change in the world and the culture in the society? I do not know the answer. वो कब होगा? But that. So broadly ये मेरा thought है, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that. अगला क्या था बताओ? Next question.
Yeah, basically combining the design and business or management, all of that.
Okay. Okay. Here's my thought. There is definitely a need and a demand for creative businesses. What shape would it take? I do not know. There are people, even today, there are people who work with businesses as their creative partners. And what this means is, like, for example, bad example देता हूँ मैं आपको, say Mahindra. I don't know a lot about their business, but let's say Mahindra का जो गाड़ी का business है, उनका core business है, tractor गाड़ी का business जो भी है. And that business is going down the drain and they're not making money on that. What do? They will talk to a design agency, let's say a IDEO or a Pentagram or something, and they say, and they'll tell them, help us innovate by building a new product. So there is, and to be able to build a commercial product, I'm not talking of industrial design per se, but to be able to build a commercial product, these design folks, these folks will have to have deep understanding of design, human psychology, human decision making, business, and future. And that's a role that you can probably pick up because that will marry creativity and it will marry commercialization. The only difference would be, that from out of those 100, out of the 100 things that you work with, I think what will happen is that उन 100 में से शायद 2 चीजें चलेंगी. You know what I'm saying? Like you will do 100 prototypes from Mahindra, and Mahindra would only commercialize one of those prototypes, which is the risk of any design process. But if you're okay with that, I think that will be a great place to be at. In fact, one of my like dearest people, she went to NIFT in Calcutta, and she talks a lot about Napa Dori. There's a brand called Napa Dori. They make
the leather
goods. Yeah. Now Napa Dori is for me it's an expensive brand, but for her it's like aspiration ki kya design hai, kya kuch kiya hai. Now imagine Napa Dori could work with let's say a high design. I'm just making it up. They are two different. They're in the same category. High design is thoda more mass market. Napa Dori is more niche. So imagine the guy who built Napa Dori could work with high design and change the fortune of high design. I'll give an example. An example comes to mind. There's a company called Saregama. Have you heard of Saregama?
Yeah.
Saregama, the only thing they had was huge library of music that they didn't know what to do with. Somebody came into their team and said that let's make Karva, the radio thing, the tiny radio thing. And that radio has flipped their, fortunes. That radio alone sells more than all the entire business combined. So somebody from the design background, creative background, thought कि हाँ यार कि हमारे पास म्यूजिक लाइब्रेरी है, उस लाइब्रेरी का एक काम करते हैं, रेडियो बना देते हैं और नॉस्टैल्जिया में बेच देते हैं. Somebody thought about that. Who's that person? It could be a business person, it could be a management person, it could be a design person. But my sense and odds are that it would be a design first thinker who would have said कि यार ये चीज ना doable है, करते हैं इसको. तो ये मेरा thought है. And this is where the marriage of your ambition could be. But yeah, that's what I think you could do. And a lot of people also specialize into doing that. I mean, these are called innovation consulting companies. There are tons and tons of those. I don't have immediate handy names, but to me personally, to sort of the work they do is very, very frustrating. You end up creating things for other people, and you are also at the whim of the guy who's going to approve what you made. So imagine Saregama ने जब रेडियो बनाया, imagine वो लेके गया सारेगामा की मालकिन के पास, and मतलब मुझे नहीं पता मालिक की मालकिन है, लेके क्या होगा, और उसने बोला होगा कि जी रेडियो बनाया मैंने. What if the lady or the gent who is going to approve didn't approve that? तो innovation तो मर गई ना उसका. We don't know कि innovation, and I'm sure there must be hundreds of innovations that probably would have died at the prototyping stage before they even reached mass market commercialization. So that, but these roles could be interesting because they are innovation design, content, sorry, not content, innovation design, business, and so on and so forth. And if you're doing this, probably you can club your design sensibility to that. So there's one thing that I'd love to sort of build in. There's a risk, there's a bullet that you have to dodge when you go there. So in these universities, when you go with the design background into MBAs, all these startups will get you to join them to be a product manager on their products. एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे Uber will go and hire you and say कि अच्छा हमारा जो Uber है ना उसका UI better कर दो आप. Now they will assume कि आप डिजाइन के बैकग्राउंड से आते हो, आपने मैनेजमेंट सीख लिया है, तो you will be able to guide a team of business folks and guide a team of design folks and probably be able to uh, 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 build a better UI for Uber. Now, I do not know if you want to do that or not. If you want to, then great, great work. But I do not know if that is a
Right. No, yeah, I don't think that is the
moat.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So the point is, वो opportunities ना आपको मिलेंगी. What you should do is while you're there, maybe talk to people who are at the edge of thinking in terms of like let's say going to Ireland. I do not know if Stripe has a presence in Ireland anymore. I mean, I'm sure there's it's HQ'd in
Ireland-based.
Ireland. I know,
Yeah.
but the brothers are in. I don't know. I don't know, right? I mean, I don't know about them. So
That
look
is
at
one of the
companies.
companies that I'm looking at. It's like they're doing crazy stuff with AI as well.
So that is what I'm saying. Don't go to Stripe. I had a different point. So if you go to Stripe, think of you as Stripe में ना तुम एक one of the 1,000 people होंगे. I'm assuming कितने लोग हैं पता नहीं है. And you would be doing something at the marriage of design and business. And you will be a cog in the machinery. And they're crazy. I love them. Like I love that company. I love the brothers. But that's not a creative career. That's a cog in the wheel, cog in the machinery career. What I was trying to imply was, sorry, before we jumped the gun. स्ट्राइक में जो लोग हैं ना उन लोगों से आप बात करो और उनकी फ्रस्ट्रेशन समझो आप. मतलब there'll be people who probably work at Stripe during the day and in the evenings they hang out at the bars and the pubs and talk about what they would do to change the world and how would they make the world a better place and blah blah blah. So Stripe is fine. But what else is what else is what are they thinking about? Like for example, one of the things I do is Stripe Press. At some point in time, I want to copy that and build a C4E press inspired by Stripe Press. Now, I don't think Stripe Press would have come out of a management design student. It would have come out of personal pain point of the founder or the founding team or the people closest to them to be able to inspire their people to do more. My point is, how do you become that? If you can become that, then there is some merit. Otherwise, I think we'll all be just pushing buttons and doing boring average jobs. So that's my thought on Stripe. Like I know tons of people who are um, super unhappy, even though they work at uh, uh, even though they work at, let's say, Apple and Microsoft and so on and so forth. So the risk is that for chasing that brand name, you may end up becoming cog in the wheel, and it's okay, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a very rewarding, very enriching, very satisfying work to do. But if you're creative kinds who wants to express yourself, your expression will probably not find आउटकम इन स्ट्राइक. मतलब मुझे बता तू अपना एक्सप्रेशन स्ट्राइक में तूने जाके क्या, लाइक इफ यू गो टू स्ट्राइक व्हाट्स द थिंग दैट यू विल probably make onboarding faster, you'll make the website more interactive, you'll make payments faster. Like how would I know ये मन्नत का काम है?
No, that is not there. So I am looking at it honestly from a very practical standpoint. So there are a couple of
That's
things.
right.
So I have a friend who went right after college from design. She went into MBA, IIMA Curry, and then she did not even get a placement directly from college. And I was asking her kya hua and all of that. So her biggest thing was like a lot of companies that came in there, they wanted people who had probably a finance or an economics background in the bachelor's, and which is why she was at a position where people prefer like she was not taken over other people, right? So which got me to think ki I have strengths in creativity, which is also something like if I piggyback on that, in fact, rather than trying to cover up and play catch with people who've done finance economics, rather how I can merge both of these together, like the management side and the creative side, which is why I want to, kind of build a personal brand, because being an international student, it is more difficult to get a job. And जो मैं Stripe का भी कह रही हूँ, I totally get with the cog and the wheel वाला thing. I was in corporate when I left design, because I felt कि मेरे design का कोई value नहीं है. It's like just a very small part of everything, right? But then there's also a thing of when you're going to some place, sponsorship from a company and blah blah for the first few years. So I'm looking at it from that point of view as well, ki, which is the perfect place to sponsorship bhi dega, but can allow me to do some creativity till at least I get to a stage where I can do something of my own again.
So here's my thought. I am not the right person to give you even talk about a balanced life. I don't operate on balances. I operate on edges. I am a sincere believer कि एक लाइफ है, बैलेंस कितना चीज कर लोगे तुम. प्लस आई थिंक यू कम फ्रॉम अ प्रिविलेज्ड लाइफ एंड बैकग्राउंड. अपने आप पे प्रेशर क्यों डालना है तेरे को टू चेज दिस बैलेंस. वन लाइफ, यू हैव द मनी मैन, लाइक लिव इट अप. बन जा हिप्पी, मतलब सॉरी, डोंट बिकम हिप्पी, but I if I was like you who had some bit of privilege, I would not take this pressure on myself and say कि यार क्यों करना है. It's okay, I'll go explore and see and come back and see what to do with my life. That's my thought. However, coming back to what you're saying, it's a very, very valid and very, very safe option. I have a lot of very close friends who've taken this safe option because they want to provide for their families and provide for their parents and all of that, and which is fine. I understand that, but it is not for me. And if you ask me, I would have to lie to be able to say कि तू जो कर रही है ठीक कर रही है. I sincerely don't believe in it. मतलब मेरा खुद belief ही नहीं है. I know what you're doing, but it is not for me, and I may not be able to ever give you advice on that side. So that's my quirk. I do not know कितना अच्छा है कितना बुरा है, but ये मेरा quirk है ना. तो ये मेरा thought है.
I was
And
the
yeah,
same. When I left my corporate job and I started freelancing, उसी जोश में किया था. But then once it kind of started falling after 8-9 months and also, then my confidence also in trying new things out also faded, and I was like, okay, now
I
I
can
think
imagine.
I've quirky stuff. Now let's listen to
I
what
can
the
imagine.
parents are saying.
Yeah,
So
so like I said, then I think you've come to the wrong person.
yeah.
Because I'm not the, like I said, I have seen ups and downs in my life, and I'm even at this age, like I said, I'm yet to make it in terms of being a billionaire. But I think I am fairly okay. I'm able to uh, live my life on my own terms. So that is what something that I am extremely proud of, and I would recommend that to people. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, I don't have a thought on that. I think what you're doing is thought through. I think once you come back from MBA, maybe a good thing to do could be to keep building your portfolio. Maybe start a podcast while you're there. Talk to other students. Talk to companies that come for placements. I mean, there are multiple things that you can do to be able to be always in the vogue in that space. And when I say vogue, what that means is that people want to talk to you and people want to hire you. Maybe you can do that. Like for example, there's somebody I know who did a lot of work on Indianness while she was at Parsons. Now, everybody is enamored by India, and for them, India is a one big monolith. But we know that India is not that big a block. India is like a tiny things like. So maybe you could say you could own up India. Maybe you could own up lessons from India, international. Like I'll give you an example. I'll give you a very simple example. So I use Google Pay. I pay rickshaw walas when I commute a lot, and I pay a lot of people. On Google Pay, after you unlock your phone, and I'm talking about a rickshaw wala, he has to unlock a screen, tap on his profile icon, tap on the QR code, and the QR code opens. And जो उसका profile button है ना, वो top right पे छोटा सा button है, गोला है वो. I have seen so many people struggle to tap that button on the top right, and these are people who drive rickshaws and sell bhajis on the road. How is it that somebody at Google Pay has not seen that stupidity? And on the other hand, phone pay पे वो QR code login करते सामने है.
Okay.
Like when you log into phone pay, QR code is right there. Like today I gave money to a domestic help that came to clean, and I gave money to a AC technician. दोनों के केस में एक के Google Pay था. The lady struggled, man. I don't know why I'm going there, but I'm saying you can take this lesson to strive that there is a lot of merit in building for people at the bottom of the pyramid, especially in the next few years, where the innovations will probably happen in poorer countries of Africa, let's say middle, the India 3 or whatever you call it, per se. So maybe there is a merit in building for them, and maybe there is some innovation there. Like Paytm Soundbox is a great innovation for sabjiwalas in India. So maybe you own that, and that could give you a distinct space and be a safety that you seek. Maybe that, or maybe chase the likes of Akib Banis of the world, who I don't know how, but he only does work for Apple and Nike and Indian cricket team and all these fancy shoe companies. I have no clue how he's done that, and he's fairly young. He's like 28, 29. He's like doing such great thing. I don't know how he does that because design is not my jam. I'm not in the design world per se, but it may not be a bad idea to look at those people to sort of see what they've done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. More questions. I don't know if I've been helpful or not, but have you any more questions?
Yeah, no, I've gotten an idea because my main thing is ki, since I am a little free right now before that starts, so let me get started because I'm seeing a couple of people who are studying outside India and they're struggling to find jobs. I'm like, okay, we've talked about personal branding in one of the previous sessions also that, if I start building something from now so that by the time I'm graduating from that, I have some kind of a niche mapped out where, even I have more knowledge and people would prefer me over other people, general management people, general, all the others. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure that out. And I thought I'll ask somebody who's been in both the worlds. Hence, I messaged you today. So yeah.
I do not know if that this makes sense or not, but like I said, मेरे खुद के thoughts है ना. So yeah, that's my thought. है ना?
All right, yeah.
Cool, amazing. I think this is it. Any more questions? Anybody else? We can take questions from other folks also, if any. Okay, no questions. I think this is it. Thank you so much.
That sounds
Cool.
good.
Thank you, Mannat. I hope this was useful, and we can again like chat separately. Like I said, I'm very happy to talk as many times as possible because it's I feel very passionately about people who have the potential and yet choose to take the safe route. So that's my thought. But I know it's not my battle, and so yeah. So yeah, that's my thought. That's my only conversation. Okay.
But okay, yeah, it's given me a lot to think about. And yeah, Baki, if
Yeah.
I something, I'll message you again with a long
Thank you.
message.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. Bye, everyone.